Good morning, friends. I'm not going to say happy Monday because what is happy about Monday? But it might be happy for some of you. You may have, was it President's Day, I think? Yeah, President's Day off. Hey, that's good. Hope you had a great weekend. Had some crazy things happen in college basketball on Saturday. We'll go over all that. Softball started a week ago. Baseball started this weekend. We are now getting into the last few months of the college sports season. We're going to go over what happened the last few days in college basketball. We also got a few news items, not too many, but we'll get to that too. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything. Let's get started with some news. Texas running backs coach Tashard Choice, he is leaving for the Detroit Lions. He's going to go try his hand up there in the pro ball. Notre Dame is hiring Detroit Lions director of scouting Mike Martin as the school's new general manager. Martin did help rebuild the Lions roster into a damn good team. They are haven't quite made it yet over the hump, but they are right there coming over, and that's because of Mike Martin, things he did in the front office there at Detroit. Notre Dame, they want him over there to do the same. Former Notre Dame defensive coordinator Al Golden. A lot of Detroit Notre Dame stuff going on here. Al Golden, he wins the Broyles Award for nation's top assistant coach, but he left for the Cincinnati Bengals to become their new defensive coordinator. But anyway, he won the Broyles Award. Last bit of news, sad, especially for Nebraska Cornhusker fans. Greg Sharp, play-by-play for Nebraska football, passed away, age 61 from cancer. He did radio broadcasts since 2007. And from what I understand, he also did baseball games too. They're saying he's the voice of Cornhusker sports on the radio. 61 years old, man. That's still young. And from cancer too. Man, prayers to him and his family and friends and all his colleagues. He's going to be missed. From what I understand, he's a big part of broadcasting Nebraska sports over the radio. So I guess life goes on. Sad though there for them. So we're gonna go back to Thursday. Some things that happened, and we've talked about this last week. A lot of teams are right on the bubble, right on the fence. Can fall off either way. Losing the teams they shouldn't be losing to. Losing to a lot of inferior teams going on lately here. And that's the way it goes on every season. Guys are tired. Guys are injured, fighting, trying to stay alive, make it to the postseason, and they end up losing to an inferior team. That's happening a lot now these last couple of weeks, and it's going to keep happening until we get to the final selection Sunday. Anyway, all right, so 13th on Thursday, 13-13 Albany. And these records here, they've changed. Some of these teams played on Saturday too, but this is just what they were at the time of the game. 13-13 Albany beat 15-10 UMass Lowell by 2 in overtime. Klasek for Albany. 2 free throws with 23 seconds left to win that game. North Alabama, they moved to 8-8, beat 13-13 North Florida, 83-70. Lane for North Alabama, 21 points. 21-5 UNC Wilmington moved to 19-7. They beat Charleston by 20. As of Thursday, that was UNC Wilmington's 9th win in a row. 22-5 High Point beat 16-10 Longwood, 83-72. That was High Point's 7th straight win. 15-10 Kennesaw State beat 17-8 Louisiana Tech, 69-47. Kennesaw State 15 points off of turnovers. 9-16 Sam Houston beat 17-8 Jacksonville State by 5. See what we mean? Teams trying to make it, losing to inferior teams. Welcome in for Sam Houston. Hell of a game, though. 29 points. He hit 6 3-pointers. 17-9 South Alabama beat 15-10 or 15-11 Marshall, 91-82 in overtime. 17-9 South Dakota State beat 16-11 Nebraska Omaha, 98-85. Number 25 Maryland beat 16-9 Nebraska, 83-75. All 5 Maryland starters, double-digit points. 11-15 UT Martin beat 17-9 SIUE by 5. SIUE actually led by 6 at halftime in that one. Let's see what else we got. 15-10 UC Davis beat 16-10 UC Riverside by 1. Rocock from UC Davis, three-pointer with 27 seconds left in the game. 9-19 Pacific beat 15-11 Loyola Marymount, 83-58. Pacific's Washington, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists in that game. 9-7 Portland beat 17-9 Oregon State, 84-72. Portland hit 12 three-pointers and they scored 18 off of turnovers. 21-4 UC Irvine beat 16-9 UC Santa Barbara by 2. Tillis for UC Irvine, 22 points, and he tipped in one at the buzzer for the win. 19-7 Gonzaga beat 20-7 San Francisco, 88-77. Gonzaga's Ike, 18 points, 13 rebounds, followed by Nimrod, 18 points, 12 assists. Moving to Friday, 11-10 Dartmouth beat 12-9 Columbia, 78-56. 12-10 Manhattan beat 14-11 Merrimack by 4. Merrimack actually led this game by 9 points at halftime. 11-10 Brown beat 16-7 Princeton, 70-56. Brown doing it all the way. They actually led by 18 at halftime. Continued that into the second half. 8-13 Harvard beat 13-8 Cornell by 2. 19-7 UCLA beat 15-11 Indiana, 72-68. Andrews for UCLA, 2 free throws in the last 4 seconds to win that game. Moving on to Saturday, number 8 Texas A&M beat Arkansas 69-61. A&M, little help winning that game from their guys, 14-3 run with 2:45 left in that game. Pretty impressive. Number 23 Clemson beat 15-10 Florida State, 72-46. Clemson has won 9 out of their last 10. 18-9 UNC Greensboro beat 19-8 Furman by 8. 21-5 George Mason beat 15-10 St. Joseph's by 1. St. Joseph's missed 2 shots and a turnover in the final minute of that game. Number 16 Wisconsin beat number 7 Purdue by 10. 1-point game at halftime. Pretty close, and then Wisconsin came in, took over the second half. They shot 72% in the second half of that game. It's a pretty good game. I went back and forth between the A&M Arkansas and Wisconsin and Purdue game. Pretty good game. It is a tight game, and all of a sudden Wisconsin just started pulling away from them. Number 5 Tennessee came back to beat 17-8 Vanderbilt, 81-76. Tennessee down by 16 at one point. I didn't watch that game, but I kept seeing it on the score, on the ticker. I was like, wow, son of a gun, look at that. But Tennessee pulled it out. Let's see. 7-20 New Hampshire beat 15-11 UMass Lowell by 1. 10-17 Navy beat 15-11 Army, 61-54. Army led that game by 2 points at halftime. 12-15 Georgia State beat 16-10 Appalachian State, 70-65. 20-8 Northern Alabama beat 16-11 Jacksonville, 92-79. 20-8 Rob Morris beat 18-10 Purdue Fort Wayne, 76-69. Not a good weekend for Purdue Fort Wayne. Their baseball team went to Baton Rouge. LSU swept that series. 12-13 Butler beat 15-10 Georgetown, 97-86. Brooks II for Butler, 30 points in that game. 16-9 Baylor beat 15-10 West Virginia by 3 in overtime. West Virginia did shoot better from the field and the free throw line. Still lost that game. 15-11 Vermont beat 16-10 Maine by 4. Number 6 Houston beat number 13 Arizona 62-58. Houston, they started this season out 4-3. They've gone 17-1 since then. That's pretty damn crazy. 23-5 High Point beat 18-10 Winthrop 88-66. 8-17 Western Michigan beat 19-6 Miami of Ohio 78-70. Western Michigan 20 points off of turnovers. Number 12 Texas Tech beat 12-13 Oklahoma State 93-55. Texas Tech, that is their largest win on the road since 1976. That's just crazy. Hey, Colorado won. Good for Colorado, huh? They beat Central Florida, who's 13-12, 76-63. I think I saw something about that was Colorado's first Big 12 conference win in 14 years. Is that right? That doesn't seem like a team would go that long without a conference win, but that's what I read. So I don't know if that's true or misprint or what, but hey. 12-13 Eastern Michigan beat 15-10 Toledo, 80-73. Eastern Michigan's Terry, 38 points, 4 rebounds, 6 for 7 from the three-point line. Hell of a game for him. Number 21 Missouri beat 16-10 Georgia, 87-74. Missouri outscored Georgia 19-0 on fast break points. 11-16 Sam Houston beat 15-12 Kennesaw State by 2. Kennesaw State, 15 3-pointers in this game, still lost. Nice weekend for Sam Houston. Eastern Kentucky beat Queens 86-80 in overtime. Both of them are 16-11 now. Number 1 Auburn beat number 2 Alabama 94-85. 6 Auburn players scored 10-plus points in that game. Bama never led this game, which is crazy playing at home, but it is what it is. 18-8 Jacksonville State beat 17-9 Louisiana Tech 70-68. Louisiana Tech's a good team, not a good weekend for them. Jacksonville State's Pierre Jr., 34 points, 6 rebounds, 5 3-pointers for him. 13-12 Minnesota beat 14-11 USC 69-66. Gophers had 15 points off of turnovers. Number 3 Duke beat 16-10 Stanford 106-70. Duke 63% from the field. They hit 14 3-pointers, scored 14 points off of turnovers. Number 10 Iowa State beat 15-10 Cincinnati 81-70. I'm sorry. Cyclones, they outscored the Bearcats 37-19, only 19 rebounds. 17-9 George Washington beat 15-10 Davidson 74-67. 17-9 Southeast Louisiana beat, I guess you could call them in-state rival, 15-11 Nichols, 84-81 in overtime. Southeast Louisiana's Hines Jr., 25 points in that game, and he hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer. 16-10 Portland State beat 19-8 Northern Colorado, 82-71. 12-10 Dartmouth beat 13-9 Cornell, 88-49. Cornell only scored 18 points in the first half of that game. That's probably part of their downfall in that one. 9-13 Harvard beat 12-10 Columbia, 87-75. 15-11 North Carolina beat 11-15 Syracuse, 88-82. Tar Heels never trailed in that game. What the hell's happened to Syracuse basketball? Number 22 Mississippi State beat number 19 Ole Miss, 81-71. Bulldogs sweep series this season. 13-12 LSU. LSU needed this win. Oklahoma did not need to lose a game. Well, that's what happened. LSU beat Oklahoma 82-79. That ends a 7-game LSU losing streak. Oklahoma started off great. They are 3-6 in the last month. They've really fallen off. 9-13 Harvard beat 12-10 Columbia 87-75. Harvard's Baggies 31 points in this game. Let's see. 12-14 Providence beat 15-11 Villanova 75-62. Providence hit 13 3-pointers in that one. 19-7 Wake Forest beat 19-6 SMU 77-66. That loss ends SMU's 5-game win streak. 11-16 Presbyterian beat 16-11 Longwood 77-68. 16-11 Albion beat 21-6 UNC Wilmington 81-70. Simpkins for Albion, 32 points. He hit 8 3-pointers. Hell of a game for him. He was celebrated on campus that night. 22-4 UC San Diego beat 15-11 UC Davis 85-60. UC Davis led 52-31 at halftime. Lost that game. UC San Diego. They led and they kept on going. Sorry about that. All right. 27 St. Thomas, Minnesota beat 16-12 Nebraska Omaha 95-84. 17-9 Troy beat 19-8 Arkansas State 71-70. Arkansas State led by 4 at halftime. Number 11 Michigan State beat 17-9 Illinois 79-65. Tom Izzo gets he's got the record most conference wins in Big Ten history. Illinois kind of fallen off the ball a little bit. They're a really good team, ranked, and they're not ranked now, and they're just not playing all that well. 9-18 Louisiana beat 15-12 Marshall, 79-68. 16-10 Texas beats number 6-15 Kentucky, 82-78. Texas, 21 points off of turnovers. I was watching this game. The last few minutes of this game, Kentucky looked like a middle school team playing their very first game. Couldn't hang on to the ball, couldn't make shots. It was just, they never dominated the whole game. They led, but those last few minutes, probably what did them in. They just, like I said, looked like a middle school team playing their very first game. Crazy the way that game ended. But Texas, hey, pulls off the upset and wins that one. 17-8 Middle Tennessee beat 14-11 Western Kentucky by 10. 16-6 Yale beat 16-8 Princeton, 84-57. 17-10, we already did that one. Never mind. Number 3 Florida beat 10-15 South Carolina, 88-67. 4-point game at halftime. South Carolina did hang in there the first half of the game. Florida came back, outscored them 51-24 in the second half. 21-5 Liberty beat 17-8 UTEP, 76-69. Liberty's Peter, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 5 3-pointers, and he did that coming off the bench. 17-8 BYU beat 13-12 Kansas State, 80-65. That loss snaps Kansas State's 6-game winning streak. Looks like they're going to make a run for it. I don't know, maybe they still could. See how they do next few weeks in the Big 12 tournament. But man, they were on a roll there for a while. They were just didn't matter who they were playing. They were beating them. But that came to an end in Provo Saturday. 10-17 Portland beat 15-12 Loyola Marymount, 89-78. 17-6 San Diego State beat 17-8 Boise State, 64-47. San Diego State 54% from the field. Boise only shot 35%. 23-4 St. Mary's beat 16-11 Washington State, 77-56. Washington State, they had a pretty good team for a while, but they've kind of fallen off. And, man, another shocker. 14-11 Utah beats number 17 Kansas, 74-67. 10 Kansas turnovers led to 22 Utah points in that one. Okay, moving to yesterday. I was really going to do the show yesterday, but crazy Texas weather. We got another hard freeze coming here in a couple of days, so I had to get the house ready outside and all that stuff. So that kind of blew it. I'll be glad when actually winter never really bothers me. I'm tired of covering stuff up, making sure the generator's all good in case the worst case scenario, all that stuff. I'm tired of doing all that. I cannot wait for spring. Normally winter doesn't bother me, but this year it's pissing me off. All right, so number 14 Memphis lost to 15-10 Wichita State. 84-79. Wichita State, 11 points off of turnovers in that game. Number 20, Michigan beat 15-11 Ohio State, 86-83. Marist, 18-5. They beat 14-12 Merrimack. 18-9 South Dakota State beat 16-11 South Dakota. South Dakota State won by 3 in that game, so good for them. 21-6 Bradley beat 23-3 Drake. Bradley won by 2. Bradley's Hannah winning dunk with 10 seconds left in that game. 18-10 Youngstown State beat 18-9 Cleveland State by 8. 10-9 Nebraska beat Northwestern, who's 13-13 now, by 4. Number 24 Creighton was playing number 9 St. John's. St. John's won by 6. Lewis Jr. 23 points, 14 rebounds. 22-4 Utah State lost to 22-4 New Mexico, 82-79. New Mexico's Washington, 25 points in that game. 14-11 Iowa lost to number 25 Maryland, 101-75. Maryland, 12 3-pointers in that game. All right, so some of the bigger games coming up this week over here in the next few days. Only a couple tonight really stand out. Tonight, 6 p.m., ESPN Plus, unfortunately. 20-6 McNeese versus 17-9 Southeast Louisiana. Good Southern Louisiana battle, if you got ESPN Plus. Then on 9 p.m., got a pretty good one. Number 13, on 9 p.m. on ESPN, number 13 Arizona, if they're still number 13 after the other day. Versus 16-9 Baylor. That will not be pretty good, too. All right, so moving on to Tuesday, 6 p.m., ESPN 2, a desperate Oklahoma team who's 16-9 goes to Gainesville, plays number 3 Florida. See how that one works out for them. 6 p.m. on Peacock, number 7 Purdue, who lost, plays number 11 Michigan State, who won. So that'll be a pretty good Big Ten battle. Another good SEC battle, 6 p.m. SEC Network. Number 8 Texas A&M versus number 22 Mississippi State. As an Aggie fan, I'm hoping they win, but this could be a really, really good win for Mississippi State. Pretty good signature win if they could win this one. Hope they don't, but hey. 6 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. 16-9 Loyola Chicago versus 15-10 Davidson. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus. 19-8 Lipscomb versus 16-11 Eastern Kentucky. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Number 10 Iowa State. Looks like they go to Boulder to play Colorado. Colorado's on a high. They won. They finally won. Could they pull off an upset? Who knows? Tune in to find out. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Also, Texas battle, number 12 Texas Tech versus 14-11 TCU. TCU used to be a pretty good basketball team. I don't know what's happened to them. 7:30 on FS1. 17-9 Illinois going to Madison, playing number 16 Wisconsin. That'll probably be pretty good. 8 p.m. on ESPN2. Number 6 Houston goes to Tempe, plays 12-10 Arizona State. Arizona State, who's not a bad basketball team, they just not having a good year. Actually, Arizona State might be 12-13. That's hard to read my writing sometimes. But regardless, that might be a pretty good game. 8 p.m. Mountain West Network, if you got it. 15-10 Nevada versus 16-9 Colorado State. Not a bad game there. All right, moving on to Wednesday. 5 p.m. ESPN Plus. 17 American versus 15-11 Army. 6 p.m. on SEC Network. 17-8 Vanderbilt goes to Lexington to play number 15 Kentucky, who is not the Kentucky of the past. We've seen Vanderbilt beating teams this year. That could be a pretty damn good game, especially if they can go in there to Lexington and get that win. 6 p.m. on ESPN2, Cincinnati versus West Virginia. Both of them are 15-10. 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. 15-10 St. Joseph's versus 17-9 George Washington. 6:30 on ESPN Plus. 17-9 Northern Iowa versus 18-9 Belmont. 6:30 ESPN Plus. 19-8 Furman versus 20-8 or 20-7 Samford. That might be a decent one. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. 18-9 South Alabama versus 19-8 Arkansas State. 7 p.m. on the Summit Network. If you got the Summit Network, 20-7 St. Thomas, Minnesota versus 16-10 South Dakota. 7 p.m. on Midco. Now, I guess Midco's a network up north somewhere. Too bad we don't have it down here because this looks like it might be pretty good. 19-9 North Dakota State Bison versus 17-9 South Dakota State Jackrabbits. Always a good football game. I would not be surprised if it's a good basketball game too. 7:30 on the Big Ten Network. 17-8 Oregon visits 14-10 Iowa. 8 p.m. on ESPN. 15-10 Arkansas versus number 1 Auburn. Arkansas is playing some good ball. Remember they went into Kentucky, beat Kentucky. Dare we say they could go into Auburn and be number 1 team? Hell of a win for them if they could pull that off. Don't know if that's going to happen, but hey, you never know. Got a good one, though. 8 p.m. SEC Network. Number 2 Alabama comes to town to play number 21 Missouri. That would be a hell of a win for Missouri. Just like Mississippi State beating A&M would be a hell of a win. This would be a signature win there for Missouri if they could pull that off. Hey, it's at home. It's there at home. 8 p.m. ACC Network. 16-9 Miami. 16-19. I'm sorry. 16-19 Miami versus 15-10 Florida State. I'll put this one on here because it's always these teams always have a good rivalry no matter what sport it is. So it could be something decent worth checking out. 8 p.m. on ESPN2. 20-7 Gonzaga versus 16-11 Washington State, who's been sliding back recently. And then on 9 p.m. CBS Sports Network, if you feel like staying up late, pretty good one. 21-4 New Mexico versus 17-8 Boise State. That is it. Like I said, I hope you guys got the day off. If not, oh well. We'll be back on more than likely Thursday to review everything that happens these next few days and to go over what's coming up for that weekend. Meantime, hey, put your head down, stay busy. Monday will be over like that. Before you know it, weekend will be here. Be safe. We'll see you next time.